Hey YouTubers, just wanted to make this quick video, in regards to the 6.0 Power Stroke. This is a 2006. So I've been working on this Ford diesel, had some issues, had a shop run a BG service on it, and it died in the process of the running. So, this is just like a quick tutorial video on like kind of what you can do to figure out what's going on here. This one, the injectors went bad. These are the new injectors, and after installing the new injector, because of that gunk or whatever that was in the gas tank, as you can see here, it cracked the bowl on that. You see how that thing's cracked in there? So I just wanted to make this quick video because this quick connection fitting actually hooks up to where your IPC is, which is off the top of your fuel rail on the passenger side. And a good way to check this to make sure that your fuel rail is solid before you, just so you know it's holding that 500 foot-pounds of pressure, or 500 psi, because without that pressure the truck will not start. So as you can see, I replaced the ball tubes here, new gaskets, everything. I just decided, might as well do all that, get it done right. We did delete the EGR cooler. Also, we're putting a 6-banks tuner into this truck, so it's going to have an extra 200 foot-pounds of torque, and you want everything to be able to hold that extra power. So I figured, you get this, I'd let you guys know, you get this connection fitting here. It hooks up to an air chuck, and you set your air compressor to 100 psi. You hook that up to your fuel rail, and you could actually sit there and listen for any leaks in your fuel rail, which is a good indication. That's like a quick check. You just pull that the IPC sensor out of there real quick and go ahead and, let me see, I'm trying to find that here, the sensor real quick. Here we go. Okay, I don't know why that's sitting there like that, but anyways, here it is. You pull this sensor out, right? This screws down into it, and then you run your pressure test. And there's a number of other tests that you can do as well to check everything else. If you're not getting a check engine light, run a fuel pressure test, oil pressure test. You could pull actually your cap off your fuel pump, and you want to crank it, and if the tip of your injector is cracked, you're going to get air bubbles in there. This one I didn't get air bubbles in it because the top cup was cracked, so it wasn't leaking fuel into the cylinder. But if it's leaking through there, you'll see air bubbles in your air filter, your fuel filter, and then your oil as well. You want to check that. You could actually kick that open, check and make sure that you got the proper oil pressure coming through there. You just pull your filter out, everything else, and you can kind of bump it, boom, a little bit, and see if you're getting any oil pressure through there, because a lot of times your high output oil pump will go out in here. Another way of doing that is just hooking up a gauge to your connection there, and you could test your oil pressure. Also, if you crank the engine over for quite a long time, you should be able to get a reading on your inside gauge. This one was, and then it wasn't, and which was weird. So I was like, I'm gonna run a pressure test on the fuel rail and see what's going on there. This is a new Garrett turbo. We got off another truck that had under 100,000 miles. As you can see down in there, I deleted the EGR cooler, so that's good to do because it actually makes the engine run cooler, better performance. Only gives you a couple extra horsepower, but it makes sure that this engine isn't getting hotter than it should. Also, I got a turbo timer with the 6-banks tuner to install in this because we haul ditch witches, backhoes, stuff like that. So here's a quick little turbo timer. I'm going to install that. Here's the 6-banks tuner to up your torque if you're hauling heavy loads. So essentially, after this is done, all new seals, gaskets, and everything. I pulled the oil filter housing out, pulled that all apart, put all new gaskets and seals in there, put a new fuel regulator. You could also check that. You want to make sure you have the blue spring in there because it's an upgraded regulator to make sure you're getting a good steady stream of pressure. Also, you could test all your glow plugs just by running, you could use straight up just a light pin or what do they call it? Get a fluke. You could run a fluke meter and also run it off do an ohms test. But you could use a test light as well. You just run off of the ground and touch it to the back. You get light off that, popping off of that. Your glow plug is good, which these are all brand new, and I know that usually if they go bad, you'll get a code as well. So I deleted. I put a new oil cooler in here, which is a good thing to do. Deleted the up pipe because of this hooks up to your EGR cooler, which those suck because it runs hot exhaust air through there on your antifreeze, like I said. And as you can see, we had some metal shavings in here, so I went in and internally replaced this. Also, I redid the STC solenoid here and put all new seals to the high output oil pump, and this truck should be ready to roll. I mean, these are good things to do if you're wanting to upgrade and delete your EGR cooler and you want to put a 6-banks tuner in there. You just want to make sure that it's going to be able to withstand and handle that. Alright everybody, have a great day. Comment if you have any issues or any concerns, and I'll get back to you as fast as I can.